Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and you might be so caught up in the 2026 and 2027 rumored lineup that you forgot that The Last Airbender is coming out in less than 30 days. Even less if you consider the pre-release time, but Mark just posted his Last Airbender teaser post. This is always interesting, considering we've seen a lot of the cards already, either via leaks or via spoilers, but okay. Here's the most important part. He says here's some things you can expect. A red sorcery that can destroy a target land for 1 generic and 1 red. Oh goody. I suspect that there's probably another step to that. That is not the whole spell. But if you're not familiar, that's how Mark does things. These are teasers. They're meant to be misleading and to make people worry because he, I guess, finds pleasure in that. And then sometimes, like with the Eldrazi, he's just correct. He pretty much just told you what the card is. And then it's a disaster and it gets banned. So next up, some tokens in the set: a 1/1 white ally, a 2/2 red soldier, a 4/4 green bear, and a 1/1 colorless spirit. I think we've seen most of those. Now this one's interesting. A token first seen in a previous Universes Beyond appears for a second time. Now that could be just about anything. I feel like I could probably figure it out, but why put in the effort? We're just going to see it in like a week. There is going to be, he says, an activation. So I assume he means not a spell cost, like an activated ability cost, but not necessarily literally an activated ability. But it'll cost 2 generic plus 1 of each color for 7 total. I'm not sure that we didn't already see that, but I might be thinking of like the Spider-Man set or something. I don't know. He usually doesn't tease cards that were in the first set of spoilers, like the first look, but I wouldn't put it past him. So he says, card with affinity for allies. I guarantee we already saw that. A 3/3 creature for 1 blue. That is the most unwritten rule of the game, is you do not make the power equal the casting cost for a blue creature unless there's a catch. So 3/3 for 1, there's a catch. Next up, some counters in the set: stun, finality, double strike, fire, Conqueror, and Quest. Actually, those last 3 sound kind of cool. It's usually just a tick up. I mean, it's a non-combat counter, like literally a thing that counts. So it's not too exciting, but I mean, I kind of like the names. They have a spell that controls target player, but just for 1 specific phase, not their whole turn. Okay. Why do I feel like we already saw that? It feels like a million years ago, but I think we've already seen that. I don't know. I really should look it up. But anyway, moving on. A red card with a Blood Moon effect. Great. If you're not familiar, it changes all of the opponent's lands into mountains. So unless he means like, let me put it this way. That's probably not the whole card because they don't make a habit out of, and by default they don't, unless it's a really simplistic card, reprint the exact card word for word but with a different name and or different mana cost. Now there are exceptions, they just typically don't do that. Now I am, once again, pretty sure we already saw a card from the set that changes stuff into mountains, but I think it left their original, or it was only, it was in addition to their types, or it was like in coordination with a mountain walk effect that it also granted or had, or it only affected non-basic lands. Oh, I really should just look that one up, because that one I'm pretty sure we've seen, because I remember thinking, oh, good, another Blood Moon. I think I actually said that in the video. I might just be delusional on all these. I don't know. So next up, here's some rules text that'll be showing up on the cards. Each land and ally you control has, which I think we've seen 10 cards that say that, but okay. Well, wait, land and ally. Huh. They also have to a maximum of 10. Okay, good to put maximums on stuff, but that usually means that they did it because it's an outrageously overpowered spell. Or ability. Where X is the number of permanents you sacrifice this turn. I think we already saw that one. Whenever an opponent searches their library. Ooh, I don't care what's after that. As long as it's negative, I like it. Because I don't like tutoring, and I especially don't like tutoring in Commander. If you're going to get an exact card, you're probably not going to get it because, oh, it's a big creature, an interesting spell that might be useful. No, you're going to get some overpowered garbage combo, and you win the same way every time. Just boring, repetitive and boring and stupid. They also have, you may reveal a Lesson, Saga, or Shrine card. Might have seen that one. Then, for each permanent you own that your opponents control. So the anti-mind control card, I think we've actually already seen that too. Then we have, whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. Okay, but it has to already have the ability to do that. But still, I mean, that's a more tame way to do it. They've gotten really broken in the past. Then we got card name, has all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. I think we've seen that one too. My gosh, like we have like half the set leaked. I mean, next up we've got if you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes red instead. And then after that it probably says, and you don't lose it between phases or whatever. I think that's actually like part of a main mechanic, because I think there was like 3 cards with that. Then we have, as long as you control 8 or more permanents named. Now, thinking about the Airbender universe, what would that be? And then we've got, here are some creature type lines from the set. Creature, cat, armadillo. Okay. We got a platypus bear, a boar, elk, bird, ox. All right. that's got to be Chinese mythology right there. Human plant ally. All the plants in my gardens are my allies. How dare you? Bird assassin. Oh, you might need a lawyer that specializes in bird law after that one. Legendary creature, all these are. Human warrior performer. Human monk ally. I wonder. Shapeshifter spirit. Elder cat turtle. And wall, which they say is also an artifact. Finally, here are some names in the set. Day of Black Sun, which I actually don't know what that is. I've only seen like 2 seasons. Enter the Avatar State. Love it. Firebending Lesson. We've already seen that one. Gather the White Lotus. Oh, no. oh, no. A color in the word lotus. That's an oh, no. If alarms aren't going off in your head. Because Jeweled Lotus went so well and Lotus Petal went so great. Oh, my God. Then we got Gran. Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop. I just realized I said that as if it was a name. It's probably Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop. They sell dragon tea with jasmine in it. Meteor Sword, which I don't know what that is from the anime, but that sounds awesome. The Unagi of Kyosha Island. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, which I am 100% sure has already been leaked because people were complaining about the artwork, I believe, or something. Anyway, and then there's Yip Yip. Oh, can't wait to roll up to my Super Serious Magic the Gathering game with Yip Yip. So that's it for now, but one of these times with Universes Beyond, I want to see, someone at Wizards of the Coast go completely rogue, okay? I'm sure their agreements say the rights holder can review every single card, name, artwork, wording, everything, to make sure that it doesn't paint the characters in an inaccurate or poor light. But they might be able to sneak in a little bit looser contract where, they don't care as much. Or have it say like, oh, until the end of the calendar year. And then they come up with like a second product where now like Aang is like the big villain of the magic world. He tries to take over the multiverse, goes complete dark side, takes over Tarkir, okay, turns them all into like slave labor. And then when the rights holders complain, they'll be like, well, you signed it. I mean, you signed the agreement. You said we could do whatever we wanted with it. You only said you want to check this set. But you said we could print products up until this date. So that's what we did. At least that would be the only entertainment we're going to get out of Universes Beyond, let's be honest. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think. Will the hype be higher than this for Spider-Man, or will this fall flat on its face because Avatar was only popular about 5 years ago? I'm very curious what the community sentiment is on this. I'll see you guys next time.